Hi, Year 3, good afternoon, and welcome to week 5 of our online learning. So we're back today for some more DT. Now, I will let you have a bit of time to get down today's date and today's WALT, which is to plan a healthy and varied diet. Now, those two words there, healthy and varied, are going to be quite important today. So you can pause the video here, write down your date and your WALT, and then come back and join us. All right then, so now that you've written your date and your WALT, I'd like you to think back to last week when you were searching the different types of food groups and the different foods that belonged in those groups. Now, whilst you're thinking back, can you remember which were the most important food groups for our health? What were the two biggest parts of our lovely colourful plate? Which of those food groups did we need most? Now, if you're at home on your own, I'd like you to just have a little think. If you've got somebody around you, you could have a little chat about it. You might even like to flick back in your book to help remind you. All right, so you can pause the video here, just take a couple of minutes just to have a little think or a little remind or a little chat, and then come back to the video. All right then. Oh, let me move my video up there. Super. So over the last few weeks, we've been learning about what makes a healthy meal. Now, last week you watched lots of videos and you found out lots of information of the different types of foods that we need and what they give our bodies to keep us healthy. We're going to be using that information today and focusing on a varied healthy diet. Now, the first thing I'd like you to think about is what the word healthy and what the word varied mean. And then, can we have a healthy and varied diet if we have to eat certain amounts of food all the time? So if we know that we always have to have lots of fruit and vegetables, can that still be healthy and varied at the same time? What can we do to keep it varied? Now, I've got here, I'd like you to set out your page like this. So you've got your date and you've got your WALT. And underneath, I'd like you to write the word healthy. Have a chat with somebody around you and have a think about what the word healthy and varied might mean. So you can pause the video here whilst you do that. Okay. Now, healthy means that we are getting the nutrition that we need from our food. It's what is good for our bodies. Okay. And varied is another way for saying different. So we need to make sure that we're eating different foods within our healthy food groups. Okay, and we're going to be covering that today. So, where does each food group fit? Where do we put the protein? Where do we put the carbohydrates, the dairy, the fruit and the vegetables, even the oils and the fats? Can you remember which parts of our lovely colourful plate they belong to? You might like at this point to pause the video and you can go back and have a little look to remind yourself if you're not too sure. So you can pause the video here and then come back to it in just a second. Now, I'd like you to be thinking about whether we need to be eating foods from every single group in every single meal. If we look at the different sections on our colourful plate, think about that fruit and vegetable. So that's our lovely big green section. And compare that to the oils and the fats. That's our purple section, which is really quite small, isn't it? Now, do you think we need to have oils and fats in every single meal? Do you think we need to have fruit and vegetables in every single meal? Now, we do need to have fruits or vegetables with every meal, but we don't need to have the oils and fats because it's such a small portion of our diet. We don't need to have it in every single meal. Let me just whiz my slide down. right, so here is what I would like you to do as your first activity. Oh, that went a bit too far, didn't it? So I want you to write a sentence to convince me. Now you've got two choices here. You should eat food from every category in every meal because, or you shouldn't eat food from every category because. Now have a think about what we were just talking about on the last slide. The different portions, the different sizes of the portions of the food categories. So like I was saying, yes, we need to have fruit and vegetables for every category, for every meal, but we don't need to have oils and fats in every meal. Now, can you think why as you're putting that into your sentence? Okay, so you can pause the video. I'll go forward just a little bit because on the next page, oh no, maybe I haven't. Sorry, I thought I'd done something else on the next page. It's not at the bottom here, is it? No. So I'll leave those sentences there for you. You can copy that down. That's absolutely fine. Change it if you want to. That is also brilliant. And then just complete the sentence. Whether you're choosing that you do think that you do need to have food from every category in every meal, or you don't think that they need to have food from every category in every meal. You can choose just one sentence to write. All right. Pause the video here, write your sentences, and then come back to me. All right. Now, I would like you to think about a healthy meal that you've had recently. Was it for your breakfast, for your lunch, for your dinner? And would you have that for every meal of every day? What do you think? Would that still be healthy? Or could you create your own maybe? Now, I have shown you on here. So this is my little piece of work that I've been doing at home. So I've got my date and I've got my WALT, and then underneath I've got the word healthy, and I've said that that means the nutritional vegetables and what is good for your body. Then I've got varied, and varied means the different foods from the different categories. And then I've got my sentence. Now I've not written the whole sentence. You're not getting away too easily. Can you see I've got my little 3 dots there? That means that it's to be carried on. All right. And then underneath, I have drawn a picture of a meal that I had last night. Now, for my dinner last night, I had some mince in tomato sauce. I had some peas on the side and some carrots, and I had some mashed potatoes. So that was my meal. Now I've got my peas and my carrots in there. So that's my vegetables. I've got mashed potatoes. So that's my carbs. I've got some mince. That's my protein. Tomatoes. That's again from my fruit and vegetables. And the mince I actually cooked in the frying pan. So I fried it a little bit. So it's probably got a tiny little bit of oil in there as well. So I'm ticking off lots of my categories there. Even in the mashed potato, I like to put a bit of butter. So that's a little bit of dairy going in too. Now I've also got a glass of water there because I always like to have a drink when I'm eating. And then for my pudding, I've got some yogurt with some chopped up banana and some strawberries. So again, the yogurt is my dairy, strawberry and banana is coming in from my fruits. All right. I'd like you to design your meal. It could be based on something you've eaten recently, something you would like to eat, maybe your favorite meal, but it must be a healthy meal. Now, I'd like yours to be a little bit bigger than mine if you can. I was just running out of space on my page. But whatever you can do, that would be absolutely brilliant. So you can pause the video here and do that and then come back. Okay, so you've all drawn your lovely meals. I'd like you to think now, if we ate this meal every day forever, would it be a healthy meal? Has it got everything in it in the right proportions? Now, it might be a healthy meal, but would it be varied? If we ate the same meal every day for the rest of our lives, would we still be able to say we're eating a varied meal? All right, so you can pause the video there and have a little chat with whoever's around you, or have a little think. You might like to write a little sentence next to it. This meal is healthy because, or it is varied because, or it is not varied because. Pause the video and then come back to me. Okay, so you've had to think about whether it's healthy and varied. Now, I would say if we were eating the same meal for lunch, for breakfast, for dinner, every day of the rest of our lives, that would not be a varied meal because we're not eating anything different, are we? It's the same thing all the time. So what can we do to make it varied? Do we need to change every single meal? Do we need to change every single thing in every single meal? I, for instance, have a smoothie every morning, but I sometimes change the fruit that I have in with my smoothie. So you can make very little changes, all right? Okay, now your task for today, your Go Deep task, is to plan a full meal for a full school week. Now, school week is just 5 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, you've got to think when you're planning this about the different types of food that you need to have. How can we make sure it's healthy and varied? How can we make sure our bodies are getting all the nutrients that we need, but that we're making sure it's a bit different each day, okay? Now, there is a catch. You've got to be willing to eat what you plan. So please don't put carrots in your breakfast. Please don't put chicken in your cereal bowl. That's not really going to be very nice, is it? I certainly wouldn't eat that, I don't think. For your Go Deeper, I would like you to produce a 7-day meal plan. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we've included our weekend here. Now, I don't know about you, but in the school week, I eat a bit different to how I eat at the weekend. So in the school week, I have a packed lunch. My packed lunch is normally either a sandwich or a soup when I'm at school. At the weekend, I might have something a little bit different. Not too different, but a little bit different. And that's fine, as long as we're making sure we're still being healthy. It actually helps it to be a little bit varied, in fact. If you're having hot dinners at school, that's probably even better. It's more varied, isn't it, really? So I want you to plan your own meals. And on the Go Deeper, you can even include some snacks and some drinks, excuse me, that you might have with your meals or in between your meals. Now on the next slide, I have got a little example of how I would set it out. So I've set my page up into a grid. Down the sides, I've got breakfast, lunch and dinner. Now this example is just for the 5 days. So if you wanted to do the 7 days, you'd obviously have to make a bit more space, I think. Then across the page, I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I've put in just some little examples of the things that I like to eat. So for breakfast on Monday morning, I've put that I would have Weetabix with banana. Now, some people like to have a bit of yogurt with it or some milk, and that would be fine. You would absolutely put that in with it as well. And then on a Wednesday lunchtime, I've put that I would like to have a cheese sandwich with crisps and grapes. You might like to go one better and say that you've got butter on your bread as well, and even what flavour crisps you've got. And then on the Friday evening for my dinner, I've put down that I would have lasagna and a yogurt. You could include what goes into the lasagna. So in my lasagna, I put beef mince. I have a cheese sauce. I have lasagna sheets, carrot, courgette, red peppers, bit of garlic. So there's lots of things that go into that sort of meal. So there's all those little bits that will bring in those different food groups. And then you might talk about what flavour yogurt you're using as well. Okay. Now that brings me to the end of our lesson. I will go back a slide so you can just pause it if you want to on there. Please, please try your best at this and really, really think hard about what is going to make your meals healthy and varied. It's really important that we try and get all those different food groups coming into our meals across the week. Okay, now remember we said there's certain parts of those food groups that we don't need to have every day. We certainly don't need to have in every meal of every day. And these are the things that you can think about. All right, I shall finish with that page up there. So you can just pause the video here if you want to. And I will see you ready for reading next time. Okay, take care, everybody. Goodbye.